There are some folks that are still in the waiting room from COAS that aren't able to get in.
I will get them in as soon as we've started.
Okay.
So up first, automatic admission scholarship criteria from Yasmin. Go for it.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So if you don't know me, my name is Jasmine Salazar. I'm the Assistant Director of Athletic Aid and Scholarships. And today I'm going to just give you a high-level overview of our automatic or admission scholarships. We use those terms interchangeably. So let me share my screen with you. Tomas, do you mind giving me access to?
Yep. Sorry, I was letting people in on.
And all the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today is also available on our website.
There you go.
Okay. Are you all able to see my? Okay, perfect. There we go. So before I jump into the criteria, I want to define new students and transfer students, and this is for scholarship purposes. So we define a new student, any student that has not completed 14 or more college credits post high school. So students that are enrolled in concurrent credits or are graduating high school with their associate's degree. For scholarship purposes, we consider them a new student. A transfer student is considered a student that has completed 14 or more college credits after high school. Again, this is for scholarship consideration. And the automatic scholarships, they're both for residents and non-residents. The admissions office reviews their admissions applications, and they automatically review to see what scholarship they're eligible for. So there's no scholarship application for these scholarships that I'm going to present to you. They're automatic, and that's one of the reasons why we call them automatic scholarships. So they're automatic, no application. The students must meet the minimum criteria by the scholarship deadline. So for our non-residents, for our Idaho resident students, we have 3 scholarships. We have the True Blue Promise, the Dean's, and the Presidential Scholarships. We've had these awards for several years, so really there's no change. The minimum criteria stays the same. The True Blue Promise is the only scholarship that has a need-based component and merit component. So in order for students to be eligible or considered for the True Blue, they have to file a FAFSA by the scholarship deadline. So for fall 2023, that would be February 15th. For students that are planning to start spring 2024, that'll be October 1st of next year. We've already passed the deadline for the current academic year. Those students have already been awarded. So all of this information is for fall 2023 admits, spring 2024 admits. The Dean's and the Presidential scholarships are strictly merit, so students don't have to file a FAFSA to be considered for those. The change that will happen from the current aid year to next fall semester is the Dean's and the Presidential scholarships. We were able to increase the awards by $500. So Dean's is now $2,500 per year, and Presidential is $3,000 per year. All 3 awards are available for 4 years as long as students continue to meet the academic criteria. So that would be completing 24 credits between the fall and the spring semester and maintaining their GPA. So for True Blue Promise, it's a 2.5. For the Presidents and the Deans, it's a 3.0 cumulative GPA. So to be considered, they have to have their admissions application. We look at unweighted high school GPA. And for the True Blue Promise, we also look at the FAFSA. For our resident transfer students, we have the 3 scholarships, same value, but instead of looking at their unweighted high school GPA, we look at their cumulative college GPA. Another difference between the resident new and the transfer is that for transfer students, these awards are only available for 2 years rather than the 4 years. So incoming or new students, 4 years, transfer students, 2 years. Non-resident scholarships. So this is the biggest change from the current or prior years. So for non-resident students, we now have 4 scholarships available to those students: the Foothills, Ridgeline, Summit, and the WUI. So again, for incoming students, we look at unweighted high school GPA. None of these scholarships require FAFSA, so non-resident students do not have to file the FAFSA. However, there is a big difference in the deadline. For fall 2023 admits, the deadline is December 15th. So students have to have their admissions application fee paid, and their transcripts by December 15th. Not submitted, like the admissions office has to have received that information by December 15th in order for the students to be considered. Non-resident scholarships do have some ineligible majors. So for the Foothills, the Ridgeline, and the Summit, if the students declare one of the following majors, they will not be considered for a scholarship, even if they meet the minimum unweighted high school GPA. And that is nursing, pre-nursing, radiology, and any self-supported program. So if the students declare that major, they're not eligible. For the WUI scholarship, nursing is an eligible major. However, the other majors are not. So radiology and self-supported programs are not eligible for the WUI. Our transfer students, non-resident transfer students, we have 2 awards. We have the Treasure Transfer, that's $8,000 for 2 years, and the WUI Transfer. It's an approximately $14,000 per year for 2 years. The WUI amount will vary depending on the cost of Boise State. So that amount will adjust as the cost of the Boise State fees increase. Similar to our undergraduate students, for the Treasure, nursing, pre-nursing, radiology, pre-radiology, and self-supported programs are not eligible. If the students declare those majors, they will not be considered for the Treasure. For the WUI, the ineligible major includes radiology, pre-radiology, and self-supported. So nursing students may be considered for the WUI transfer if they declare that major. Again, the deadline for our non-resident students, fall 2023 admits will be December 15th. Some additional requirements, the scholarships are only available between fall and spring semesters. Students are required to enroll full-time, that's 12 undergraduate credits per semester in order to be receiving the award. For non-resident students, we call them scholarships, but they are truly waivers. We basically discount a portion of the student's tuition. So for non-resident students, courses that are charged per credit, they don't count towards the 12 minimum credit requirement. They have to be 12 traditional classes that charge the full non-resident fee. Also, repeated credits may impact the student's eligibility. So we have the registrar's office and financial aid, we have some rules. When the students repeat a course more than 3 times, the 4th time it doesn't count towards their financial aid eligible credit. So we've ran into that situation from our renewing students or current students that have repeated a class multiple times. Their 4th time, 5th time, it doesn't count towards their scholarship eligibility. So something just to keep in mind. These are all the criteria for fall 23, spring 24. Current students may have different renewal GPA. Maybe their majors are different. So please feel free to send those students to our office if they have any questions about maybe as they register for spring semester, if they want to drop a class, if they're going to repeat a class, so that we can evaluate how many times they've repeated a class and if they would be eligible for their spring semester. We review the scholarship for renewal at the end of the spring semester. So students that fall below the 12 credit completion at the end of fall may be able to make up those credits in the spring semester. So we don't take away the spring semester scholarship. We review all students at the end of the fall semester, excuse me, at the end of the spring semester. So they really get it for a full year. Spring semester is their opportunity to make up any credits, bring up their GPA if they fall below that minimum GPA requirement. If the student does fail to meet the renewal criteria, we automatically send them an email with an appeal link saying, hey, what happened? Tell us what happened. Tell us your story. And we have an independent committee that reviews that information and determines if the student can be granted the scholarship again, or if they need to kind of do a semester on their own. So that's a high level overview of our scholarships, automatic scholarships. Do you guys have any questions?
Yasmin, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who serves on the, or you don't need to say names, but generally who around campus or which offices around campus serve on the independent committee, and what is the success rate for the appeals?
Great question. So it's faculty and staff outside of our financial aid office. No one in our financial aid office is part of the committee. So we have people from admissions, and then we have faculty, we have either from honors and different departments that have volunteered to read those appeals. Renewal appeals, the committee is more lenient because they want to make sure that really the student has an opportunity to make up those credits. And it really depends on the situation. As long as the student has a plan. So once they figure out why they failed, it could be maybe they were working too much, maybe they didn't have a tutor, and maybe they didn't have proper study skills. Once they make that plan, really that's what the committee wants to see. Do you have a plan in place to be successful going forward? If they do, their appeal is denied. If really the appeals that are being, the appeals are being approved. The appeals that are being denied are those appeals where it's really mathematically impossible for a student to bring up their GPA, or the student doesn't have the tools or the assistance that they need to be successful, whether it's medical or it's family, the situations vary. Other
Thank
questions?
I had a question about the GPA. So when you look at cumulative GPA, which I know is a factor for some of these scholarships, is that, does that include transfer credits? So is that the Boise State GPA, or like the GPA that includes everything?
For renewal, we look at the cumulative GPA. So if the students have transfer credits, those transfer credits are calculated in the cumulative. So it's not just Boise State.
Okay.
And again, summer credits, we have some students that feel like if they make up credits in the summer, we automatically reinstate those awards. We don't automatically review students in the summer. So they may have the opportunity to make up credits or bring up their GPA, but they still have to complete that appeal because the award, they're not getting an award in the summer. So we don't automatically review summer grades.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Well, thank you. And again, we are on campus. We can meet with students by phone, Zoom, in person. Our contact information is all on our website. So feel free to send students our way. As we know that you get a lot of questions in the next couple of weeks, especially with spring registration coming up. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay, Yasmin, thank you. Okay, up next with an update on I Do Teach STEM Ed 101 is Morgan.
Thank you. Let me have a lot of tabs. Sorry, one second. Here we go. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to introduce myself. First of all, my name is Morgan Coddington. I am the secondary programs coordinator for the I Do Teach program in the College of Ed. For those of you who are not familiar with I Do Teach, we are the secondary STEM education program on campus. So STEM majors at Boise State have the option to add on a secondary education emphasis to their existing STEM degree. Our program is designed so it doesn't take them any additional time to get there. And we are kind of that bridge between their STEM content area and the College of Education. And we do that through our STEM education classes typically. And the one I wanted to highlight today is our STEM Ed 101 course. I do recognize some people in here, and I apologize if you heard my spiel like 10 times, but thank you for bearing with me. So STEM Ed 101 is our 1 credit intro level inquiry-based learning class. It is open to every major, so we do encourage people who are just curious about teaching to come, and it is 1 credit, so it's easy to fill in schedules. The really unique and cool part about the course is that it actually gets you field experience very early in your undergrad. A lot of other education programs on campus don't have that exposure until your junior or senior year. So you're actually going and collaborating with other students to do a lesson plan. And then you go and actually present some lessons to local elementary schools. A lot of students who take the class and don't even stick with teaching say that it's a lot of fun. And it is a great way to just kind of know right away before committing to anything that it's a good fit and that teaching is something that might be a good career path. And it is also just a great resume builder. So we just strongly encourage anybody curious about education to take the course. So with registration coming up, just wanted to make you all aware of that course if you weren't familiar with it. We are also doing something different next semester where we are offering one of our sections where the first 7 weeks of the course will be STEM Ed 101 and the second 7 weeks will be STEM Ed 102, which for I Do Teach students is a good way to just kind of, if you're maybe a little behind in the program for the secondary ed emphasis component of it, a good way to get those 2 intro 1 credit courses out of the way. So if you have questions, our website has a lot of information. I don't want to take up too much time today, but we just hope that we can get some more disciplines represented in that class. So thank you very much for your time.
Does anybody have any questions for Morgan?
Just a quick question about that. What kind of time commitment is that 1 credit class?
It's typically not a whole lot of outside the classroom. They don't usually expect you to spend too much time with it being a 1 credit course.
Mm.
I think they estimate that it's like 3 hours or whatever, but instructors I've talked to have said that it's usually maybe just an extra hour outside of the classroom that they're collaborating with their other students that they might be doing that lesson plan with, that type of thing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know who the contact is for I Do Teach for engineering these days?
Yeah, Courtney Holler.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, any other questions for Morgan? All right, Morgan, thank you very much. Up next is Esperanza Gomez with an update on TRIO.
Yeah, let me just pull up my PowerPoint I prepared for you all. Okay, can you all see the slides? Awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Esperanza Gomez, and I'm an educational specialist with the TRIO Rising Scholars Program. And I just wanted to give a refresher or share information about the TRIO programs we have at Boise State. And just for context, we're under the umbrella of the Center for Multicultural and Educational Opportunities, which is to facilitate academic achievement and personal growth among underrepresented groups in our schools and communities. So other programs such as CAMP, HEP, and TRIO and stuff are under the CMEO umbrella as well. And ultimately, I just want to start off with TRIO Works. For those that are familiar with the program, have heard the eligibility requirements, but we serve students who are first generation, limited income, and our students who may have a documented disability through providing support while earning their college degree. And I'll get into that more here in some slides. And we have 6 college level TRIO programs at Boise State. And I'll chat about each of them more in depth a little bit, just because they're either major specific or identity specific, and just so you're informed and have them in the back of your mind in case you want to recommend students to the programs. And the immediate benefits that TRIO provides for students that get accepted into our program is free and individualized tutoring for all 100 and 200 level classes. And so if a student needs to pass a challenging class at the C, they can use tutoring. If they want to turn a B into an A+, they can get tutoring, whatever they want to make of it. And students can get 2 tutors per semester, 3 hours each. So up to 6 hours of individualized tutoring for free, which is really helpful. And if students not a part of TRIO want to get involved, anyone at Boise State that earns an A or B in their classes can apply to become a tutor for our program. We also offer one-on-one advising. So I'm an educational specialist or a TRIO advisor, and I support students with whatever they need. Like I generally say, I'm their hype person. I'm there to just walk alongside them throughout any challenges they need to navigate or opportunities they want to pursue. And we really enjoy connecting with academic advisors as well. So supporting classes to students to ensure they're on track with classes and enrollment, or we'll support students updating their resume, get them connected with campus resources, whatever a student needs, we support them. And then throughout that, we also provide workshops for academic development and skills training, career and major exploration, financial literacy, leadership and networking opportunities through jobs or just participation, and social and cultural opportunities. So I do want to clarify something that gets confused a lot is by joining TRIO, we don't provide automatic scholarship awards for students. Where a program and something we can do is support students find and apply for scholarships they're eligible for. And so we can do that throughout like advising and stuff like that. And then our core values is just supporting students change from their first day, their last day and beyond throughout initiative, commitment to excellence, accountability, growth, equity, and community. So we try to take a holistic approach when supporting students throughout all of our TRIO programs. And then about each program, to talk about the specific benefits, I'll start with TRIO ACES, which is academic coaching and educational support, which provides academic support for students with disabilities. And some specific benefits, they collaborate a lot with the Educational Access Center. So just know that those are two different departments. There's the Education Access Center department-wide, and then there's TRIO ACES, which is one of our TRIO programs for students. And then support with advocacy support. They have a group study room, and they can serve up to 100 students. And for all of our TRIO programs, students need to be first gen, limited income, and or have a documented disability. And for TRIO ACES, they specifically need to have a documented disability. And just to put a face to a name, here's the team members that make up the TRIO ACES program. So they have the director, ed specialist, operation coordinator, and their graduate assistant to support their programming. And then we have TRIO Rising Scholars, which is what I'm a part of. And we support students majoring in humanities, business, and social science. And the specific benefits is through our program, we offer cohort classes. So the fall is more logistics of meeting the cohort, TRIO and Boise State resources. And then in the spring, we have an optional class, which has an emphasis on more social and emotional development. And then we have community building, a community room with free printing. We have peer mentors who are students that are advanced in their time at Boise State to be another point of contact. And we serve up to 180 students in our program. And then here's just an idea of majors we serve, and I won't read it all. And then we're made up of our program coordinator and 2 educational specialists. And then the TRIO STEM Scholars Program supports students in the science, tech, engineering, math, and nursing programs. And their immediate benefits is they offer STEM cohort classes, and we share the community room with free printing with them. They'll fund students to attend STEM conferences, and they can serve up to 120 students in their program. And then they're made up of their program coordinator and educational specialist for their program. And then TRIO Teacher Prep is for education majors, and their immediate benefits are high quality praxis assistance. We share the community room as well. They'll fund students for education conferences, and they can serve up to 120 students. And then they have a program coordinator and ed specialist as well. And then TRIO Veterans SSS SSS stands for Student Support Services, and they provide assistance to veteran students who are first gen, limited income, or who have a documented disability. So they have tech support, their own computer lab, and they host social and cultural events as well. And their team consists of 2 educational specialists. And then something to plant a seed of thought. So all of those previous programs are program students can join and apply to right when they start Boise State. And then the McNair Scholars Program is a pre-graduate school preparation program. And the immediate benefits they provide is mentor-guided research, graduate school prep, scholarly skills, and financial aid. So they'll cover fee waivers for students to apply for grad programs, and they provide a stipend for research students too. So something to keep in mind is students usually join this program during the last 2 years of their undergrad, just because it's a 2-year-long program of having them research, visiting universities, and all that fun stuff. And they're made up of their coordinator, and then our TRIO team of our director, admin assistant, and web specialist for all of our programs. And then just to highlight, to share with students is our social and cultural events. Not event is the same every year, but all TRIO programs host a fall orientation and spring kickoff. And then we try to host fun events like pumpkin carving we'll have later this month. We go to the Flicks, and then we also host like more academic, like scholarship, resume building workshops. And then this is just a quote I like to share out that a student said, being a part of TRIO provides opportunities of growth, development, and success. Ultimately, you're going to get out of the program based on what you give and how much you participate. So our program's a lot about reciprocity. We support students wholeheartedly, and if they engage and take advantage of our services, we're always happy to support them throughout college and even beyond. And then our motto is your success is our goal. We provide equitable resources for our students to best support them throughout their journey. And just keep in mind that you can talk to us. You can always refer students to talk to us. We'll be happy to just give an overview and clarification as well. And so whenever you search up one of our programs on the Boise State website, there's always going to be that orange apply now button at the very top under the title of the TRIO programs. And the application consists of 3 main steps. So fill out the general application of name, year, major, and then providing their tax information, and then completing short essay responses. And I always encourage students to fill those out with intention, just because that can support us in identifying if they'd benefit from the program. And if there's ever like a confusion of a STEM major applying for TRIO Rising Scholars or something like that, like we'll always forward applications to the correct TRIO program to support that as well. And then recruiting initiatives. So I wanted to inform y'all that TRIO exists and also share that some of our TRIO programs are still accepting students for the spring 2023 semester. So the McNair Scholars Program is currently during just this fall semester still accepting applicants. So if y'all have any students in mind that are interested in their master's or PhD for grad school, you can refer them to McNair. TRIO ACES is at capacity right now, but they're still accepting applications for consideration. And then TRS, TRIO Teacher Prep, and TRIO Veterans SSS still has openings and are accepting applications that you can send our way. Or we're happy to come and present to classes, office, whatever way we can support you and students. And thank you. Does anyone have any immediate questions? And I'll email out all of the website links and contact information as well after I'm done presenting.
I have 2
Esperanza.
questions. Just because I've had a couple students that I've tried to send over to TRIO, and your office has been great. But I was told that it was closed, right? So some of them are closed. So when does it reopen again for like first generation students that are needing help? And then if you accidentally apply to the wrong TRIO, does it get guided to the correct one?
Yes. And so your first question, there's not like an exact close or end date of when we'll stop accepting application. It's kind of like year round. But so for TRIO STEM, they serve up to 120 students, and right now they're like at capacity. So any applications they're getting, they're like putting on a wait list to admit when they're able to accept students next year. So it's not an exact due date. It's just a matter of when our programs are full, and if we're full, we put them on a wait list. And then to your second question, if someone is majoring in biology, so they'd be eligible for TRIO STEM, but if they applied for TRIO Teacher Prep, like the TRIO Teacher Prep folks would forward the application to STEM. So like we'll always work on connecting students, and we'll give students the student choice and inform them of our multiple programs, but we always forward it to like the major specific TRIO program that would make sense for them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Esperanza, I had a question about TRIO's academic coaching. I think you had mentioned with the ACES program that you provided academic coaching. I'm assuming that that is provided for other students in other programs as well. Can you talk more about what the goal of your service, your academic coaching service is, and how you achieve that goal? So what is your style of academic coaching? What does that look like from the student perspective?
Yeah, and so for students that are new in our program, we ask them to have minimum once a month meetings with their educational specialist. And for us in TRS, we also have peer mentors. So we ask them to do monthly meetings with their peer mentors as well. And so during the once a month meetings, we'll like check in, we'll fill out an education action plan where we interview them to get to know them and get to know what they're interested in getting connected with. And then kind of right now is like prime time. We're encouraging students to make appointments if they haven't already with their academic advisors to ensure they're on track with the right amount of credits and right classes to take. And so during those one-on-one monthly advising sessions, we ensure everything's going smoothly. And then if it's not, we try to connect them to resources. And then after students' first year in the program, those monthly requirements aren't required as much anymore, but they're still in trio forever. And we always aim to like check in with them at least once a semester as well. But we always like send emails and reminders to reach out with students.
Thank you. So it sounds
Yeah.
more like it's a pretty thorough check-in process as opposed to a curriculum or methods-based skill building process.
Yeah, we try to be really proactive and hands-on, especially during that first year, because it can make or break it. And so we have the monthly meetings to check in and see how they're feeling and see how things are going.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Esperanza?
Awesome. So again, here soon I'll send you all an email with our links and contact information, but don't hesitate to reach out. And if any presentations in classrooms or office spaces would be helpful, just let me know.
Thank you, Esperanza.
Yeah, thank you.
So next up was Isaac with information on UF 200 in Costa Rica, and I'm not sure if Isaac's here. Isaac, are you? Yeah, there you are. Right on. Go for it.
What's up, people? How's it going? Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. My name's Isaac Castellano. I'm a faculty member in the School of Public Service, and I am organizing a UF 200 course in Costa Rica for the first 3-week session of the summer term. And I am here to just inform all of you about this because I need your help to spread the word to our student body. So this project is the outcome of a grant to the State Department that the Center for Global Engagement and myself put forward a couple years ago, and COVID sidelined us, as you'd expect. Not a whole lot of study abroad in the last few years. And so we are back with a vengeance here. Our goal is essentially to set up an annual trip geared toward students completing their freshman year. So the idea being they would go down, have a study abroad experience, knock out some credits, hang out with Boise State students, fellow students, and also Boise State faculty. So really kind of a enrichment experience that we're looking to pull off. We're looking to generate some community. We're looking to get some students who might not otherwise do study abroad, do a kind of study abroad light. Costa Rica is a pretty safe place. A lot of students probably know someone who went there and saw a sloth bear, or went to the beach or the cloud forest, or zip lined or something like that.
Or have a grandparent who has retired there already.
Or yes, tons of expats in Costa Rica. My specific class, the UF 200 I'm teaching, is all about ecotourism and how it has functioned as an anchor to prevent outward migration in Costa Rica, and how some of the lessons of the governance and conservation could be applied to other Latin American, Central American countries. So that's the interest that the State Department has, and that in addition to getting students abroad to get that cultural experience. Aside from this coming May and taking students and all of that, I'm also recruiting faculty. The grant pays for 3 faculty members to go to Costa Rica this May and explore teaching a class in future years. So I'm looking for faculty who teach foundation level courses that sophomores typically take. And so we can really have a broad pool of students who go. And additionally, there's also some fundraising that's happening to lower the student costs. So as of right now, I do not have a per student budget, what they will cost students out of pocket, but we'll have those numbers shortly, and then we'll once I have some interested students, we'll launch a study abroad, a fundraising effort. So if you happen to mention this to anybody, please let them know that we'll be working on having a fundraising effort, and that should bring down the costs. So that's kind of my pitch. My email is right here. Like I said, I'm in the School of Public Service. Let me see if I can get this to come down. Still learning how to use Zoom after 3 years or whatever it's been. So if you have an interested student, they should just directly email me. If you have questions, please ask them now, or email me if they come up. and just super appreciate, well, first of all, a shout out to the SPS advisors because they're awesome. And a shout out to all of you for all the work you do. A lot of faculty forget perhaps your importance and your role, but a lot of us don't, and really appreciate everything you all do. So I will stop talking and stick around for a few questions. And if not, email me and I'll drop that into the chat if you did not capture that. If there is, I'm not seeing the chat. Anyway, Google me.
Do you have to be a full-time faculty, or could you be an adjunct faculty to express interest?
Oh, yeah, you do not have to be full-time. That's a great question. That's not something I've thought about. I don't think there's anything in the grant that would prohibit us from sending adjunct faculty on this trip. I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing that's going to prevent us from spending the money in that way.
I know that you said that you are, sorry, y'all, that you're not sure how much it will cost, but do you have like an order of magnitude estimate of how much it might be, or like what your goal is to try to get it down to?
Yeah, great question. So we're looking at probably somewhere in the $2,500 to $3,000 range for airfare, housing, and accommodations. And that's my guesstimate, then plus tuition and fees. I will offer to students an independent study, or we can try to work on an internship opportunity to bring them up to 6 in that 3-week session. Or they can additionally do the 3 on UF 200 and then do some other summer courses to bring them up to 6. I'm under the impression you need to have 6 in the summer term for your financial aid to qualify, and someone can correct me if I have that number wrong.
So if I'm understanding this right, they can take 3 credits and do UF 200 for the 3 credits, and then this special topics for an additional 3 credits, but it's all one experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Students who would do that most likely would probably have some work they would have to complete when they came back. So it'd be unlikely, I don't see them necessarily being able to get all of the work done in that 3-week period.
Isaac, who are you hoping to get? What kind of students are you hoping to be able to share this experience with?
Well, ideally, we would raise a whole lot of money, and students who typically would never imagine themselves studying abroad would be part of this trip. And that is kind of the goal we set out. We have not been successful yet in terms of big donors who have come forward. I mean, I've had conversations with development on this, and so ideally it would be those students, the underserved, and we wrote that into the grant, but we simply don't have and that was our mission statement, but we don't have the funds to pull that off, because our grant doesn't actually support students, ironically, and it's not for that much money. So, but all students ultimately are welcome, and we're looking for that.
Ray, I think you have a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering, for students who are interested, is there a language component to this opportunity as well, or is everything kind of strictly in English?
No, no one needs to know any Spanish to go, although having some Spanish would be absolutely helpful, but certainly instruction will be based in English. We are partnering with USAC on the ground, so we are waiting for their schedule to get a better sense. There's an opportunity potentially for students to come and do UF 200 and then additionally apply to take some USAC credits, which could be Spanish based. And then additionally, of course, we'd love for someone in world languages to volunteer to also be a part of the program.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Isaac? Okay, Isaac, thank you very much. I hope
Super
you're able to get
appreciate
some
it.
students.
Thank you.
Okay, and up next, information on Society for Ideas with Ben.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Ohashi. I'm the program manager for Society for Ideas. We're a program over at the College of Innovation and Design. I'm lucky enough to be joined by our two program co-founders, Jenny Myers and Brad Weigel, who I'm going to pass it over to talk about our program.
It's good to see all of you, see some new faces out there and some familiar ones. Just wanted to do a quick overview of our program for those of you who haven't heard about it, or maybe just a review for some of you that have. We're a Society for Ideas, as Ben mentioned. We define ourselves as a micro school for creativity, and creativity means a lot of things to a lot of people. So we're all about this intersection of design and technology. That's what we mean by creative skills. And that we have 3 certificates and 10 courses that are offered to students. It aims to augment your degree or your work experience. So we're not meant to replace any sort of degree or any program that a student already has. You just come to our program to augment that program, whether it's engineering, business, communications, whatever it might be, or maybe you're just a reoccurring student looking to reskill. That's our goal, is to augment that experience. We were founded at the College of Innovation and Design at Boise State, and our whole goal is to be available to students and professionals from all walks of life. And since 2019, we've just had some amazing people participate in our program. Since 2019, we've had over 2,000 students. We're averaging around 500 a semester right now. We've had students from every major and every major combination on campus, from all ages, 18 to 65. It's been quite the ride since 2019. For the quantitative folks in the room, we're getting good reviews on our courses. We, at the first week of every class, we tell students that we want this to be the best course that they ever take at Boise State. That's our goal. And we're proud to say that most, not all, have agreed with us there. Just a couple of our quotes. This is why we do this, for some of the amazing results that we've been able to generate for students. Things like life-changing, or maybe just picking up a new skill that they were hoping for. And then this last one here, actually getting a job at Micron through their work in the course. We do all this because we believe creativity is the new economy. And what we mean by that is, let me give you an example. So if I told all of you in 2005 that someday you're going to pay money to sleep in a complete stranger's home, or you're going to openly give one company all of your interests, relationships, and messages, that you're going to put cameras and microphones all over your house, and you're going to ride around in a complete stranger's car to get somewhere. If I told you that in 2005, you would have thought I was nuts. And here we are today with companies doing all of these things for us, and all of us doing these things. The world changes fast, as we all know, and it's changing even faster. And if we look at the workforce of tomorrow, the things that are in demand are higher cognitive, social and emotional skills, and technical skills, creative skills. And so we've sought out to teach those to students.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'll jump in and finish this out here. We focus our curriculum and our classes on 3 different aspects of creativity, which are creative mindset, creative abilities, and creative influence. And all 3 of our certificate programs focus in one of those 3 areas. So our first certificate is called the Certificate of Innovation and Design, and it includes 4 courses. And I'll go through the individual courses after I go through the certificates. But the 4 courses in Certificate of Innovation and Design are creative concepting, growth hacking, analytics for design, and emerging technology. Our second certificate is the Certificate of Content Production, which includes classes Agile Design, Agile Audiovisual, No Code Development, and Growth Hacking. And our last certificate, Certificate of Creative Influence, includes Designing for Equity, Pitching Ideas, Career Hacking, and Creative Concepting. So you'll notice there's some crossover. So students can take, I believe it's Creative Concepting and Growth Hacking, and those 2 classes but go for 2 different certificates. So I'll jump in and walk you through quickly some of the nuance of the various classes, but first, some information that crosses each of them. So all of our courses are online and asynchronous. We do have 4 in-person classes, which are the certificate of the certificate of innovation and design. So analytics for design, creative concepting, growth hacking, and emerging technology. We have both an in-person and online versions of those courses. Our classes are offered every spring and fall. They're all 3 credits. They're all 7 weeks. Every class has a similar cadence. So there's a lesson and a project every class or every week. So all of our classes are project based. We don't give tests. You don't write papers. Everything is hands-on practical learning, and you can take them in any order. So students don't have to start in any one particular place. They can take them ad hoc. They don't have to take them as a certificate. They can take any one single class or multiple classes from the various certificates if they're so interested. So the 10 classes are creative concepting. I actually teach this one. I also, another colleague teaches the in-person version. I do the online version. Creative concepting is all about how do you hold ideas loosely? How do you think divergently? How do you tackle some of the world's most wicked problems by rubbing creativity up against it? Our second class is called growth hacking. And this is, if you create an organization, if you create an idea, how do you scale it really quickly using digital means like building websites, social media, developing email, search, and more. And students actually in this particular class, they leave the class with some industry credentials. Brad or Ben, can you pipe in with which those are? I can't remember what those certificates are. And I know you're more intimate with this class.
It's Google Ads, Google Analytics, and Meta Advertising.
And HubSpot.
And HubSpot, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew we'd get there. Analytics for design. In this class, students create their own research project and learn how to develop an insight, a data-driven insight, and then concept ideas off of those insights. Emerging technology. We focus on technology that has commercial applications. So emerging technology is only emerging for a little while. It's either not commercially viable or emerging, or it's just technology. So this class focuses on emerging technologies. Brad, I'm going to call on you again to list off those technologies.
Yeah, everything from artificial intelligence to blockchain to 3D printing. Every single week we have them get hands-on experience. Even if they're in an online environment, we let them get hands-on experience with some of this technology, and then also the implications it has on society, both good and bad.
Yeah, so they're actually creating and developing things and then thinking forward on forward applications. Agile design. The easiest way to describe this class is it's graphic design for non-designers. So students are taught the principles and practices of design and are given practical hands-on design assignments each week. This class in particular, they build a portfolio and they design that portfolio over the course of the 7 weeks. All of our classes have a portfolio component. So the very last assignment in all of our courses, students are working on taking what they've created in that class and adding it to or creating a portfolio if it's the only class they've taken. Agile audiovisual. How do you use that computer in your pocket to develop content, create a brand, shoot videos? And this is all done in a very agile way. So all of our classes don't require anyone to purchase any software. Everything is done through a very agile approach. So of course, this particular class does require a smartphone, but the technology applications or the technology requirements for the courses are, we try to make them as approachable as possible and democratized as possible. No code development. It used to be that you had to learn how to code if you wanted to design or develop an app or a website, and that is simply no longer the case. There are a lot of no-code applications out there that will allow anyone to design websites and to develop apps and automations. Students go through this class, and each week they build a new app or a new automation or design a website. So it moves really fast. They walk away from that class with a lot of information for their portfolios. Designing for equity. So in this class, students learn to work collaboratively with other people. They learn how to create capacity and creative confidence when they're working with others, and listen to the identities that exist at the margins, and then design equitable experiences. I failed to mention this earlier, but all of our courses are taught by industry professionals. So everyone who teaches our course works hands-on in that industry. So this class in particular is taught by 2 incredible women who do this professionally and work with companies like Adidas, Facebook, and Google. pitching ideas. Once you have all these amazing ideas, how do you actually create content that allows you to pitch and share your ideas? Students decide or figure out what their pitch style and presentation style is, and they develop presentations based on different targeted audiences and get to practice honing their voice and their skills in presentations. Career hacking, this is one of our newer classes, and it's becoming a fast favorite. This class teaches students how to take a new approach to getting a job. Students explore what they're interested in, what things that they're passionate about, and then they learn hacks on how to find the job of their dreams and actually get placed. I don't know, I did a really bad job of explaining that class. Brad, this is your class. Do you want to explain?
No, you did great. We're basically flipping on its head. Instead of going to monster.com and blasting your resume to 100 different companies, we teach you how to build a network digitally. What are the types of things you say and reach out to people? We're teaching students how to go to LinkedIn and scrape an email address, send a cold email. That quote, the student actually getting a job at Micron, they took this course, they did it in real time, building their network, emailing people, sending out their resume to companies they wanted to work for, and ended up getting a job through our method. So it's a different way to think about finding a job.
Way better, way better. So here's the catalog of all of our courses. Happy to answer any questions. We just want to say thank you so much for giving us the time to come speak with you. We ask our students all the time how they find us, and over again, we hear that advisors were the ones who inspired or shared our classes with them. So we value what you do so much and know that students really respect and find a lot of value in the recommendations that you all make. So thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time, and happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions for Brad or Jenny?
I just have a comment. I love your guys' classes, and I have the idea certificate myself. If you have time, advisors, take these classes, because you can then share with students the experience of having them. The classes are phenomenal, and I use everything that I learned in those classes in work every single day. So thank you, Jenny and Brad and Ben. You're awesome.
Oh, Erin, thank you so much. You can't beat that kind of recommendation.
No, thanks for that. So good to see you.
I just want to second that. My students absolutely adore all of your classes. And for all of the advisors, hint, hint, if your students need credits right now, second 7 week, they're some of the only ones left that are like super exciting to students. There's a lot out there that are really exciting, but like I find that students hear about these and they light up because they're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna have to take this other class. It doesn't seem interesting at all. And then I tell them about these, and it's just so great and so applicable to so many different majors. So highly suggest.
Thank you so much. So on that note, I'll just tell you which ones are available for second 7 weeks, which starts obviously on Monday. Designing for equity, pitching ideas, analytics for design, and agile audiovisual. Did I miss any, Ben?
You switched one. So emerging technology is second 7 weeks, and designing for equity is first 7 weeks.
Sorry.
We can send you a one sheet with all the course codes and weeks and all that good stuff so that y'all have it.
I have a quick question. So in the context of students potentially adding this class as sort of an emergency, they might be already stressed and deciding to drop out of a class that's just not working well and choosing to add a COID class to replace it. And what I tell students is just buckle up. It's a 7 week course that's still 3 credits. It's accelerated. Would you say that these courses are more work intensive or less than is sort of if you were to imagine like the most typical 7 week 3 credit course, because you talk a lot about how these are very project based portfolio at the end. Would you say a student needs to brace themselves even more for a COID class than a typical 7 week course, or less? Maybe it depends on the student. Probably. Any guidance on that is kind of helpful when we coach.
That's a good question. Jen and I might have different opinions, but they're definitely challenging. They're challenging courses for sure. But what we find is that between the combination of the content being really interesting and these are really fun projects. It's not like they get a lot of requirements and tests and discussion board types of things. Or we talked to them about building a company and then starting a website for it and then shooting a video for it. You know, they just love that. Most students love that challenge. And then the second is we're just the most accommodating darn people in the world. Very often giving students cell phone numbers and meeting with them one-on-one and giving them whatever they need to be successful. So challenging, but we're there to support them, and most students have no problem with it.
Yeah, I would agree, Brad. The other thing I would add is that a lot of the assignments and projects are autonomous, meaning students are picking things that they themselves care about. So they're not taking a provided topic and then designing something around that. There's a lot of autonomy. They're picking things that they inherently care about and then applying the learnings to those things. And the other thing I'll add is that we allow students to redo any of their projects at any time based off of the feedback that they get.
I'll just add one more comment too. With our courses being asynchronous, the ability to have that content go live Monday morning gives students the flexibility to consume that content sort of at their own leisure if they have full-time job, family, things like that. And then there's live opportunities throughout the week where they can get help from our team. So we receive a lot of feedback from students that are super busy that they're able to kind of work this class in to fit on top of all their other things in their schedule.
In addition to Nate's question, I work predominantly with lower division students, and I recognize that these are 300 level courses and have sophomore standing. If we had a potential freshman that had interest, would you be open to the idea of permission numbers being granted? I know I've actually worked with some of you to get permission numbers for folks, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, 100% of the time. If any student reaches out to us and wants a permission number, we will let them in. These classes do a really good job of meeting students where they're at. And in the individual courses, we've had students who are a freshman, and then we've had postgraduate students take the same, and they're in the same course at the same time, and they both find it enjoyable, and they both get different things out of it, but they both walk away feeling fulfilled. So short answer, yes.
I'm usually the go-to for that. So if anyone needs permission codes, you can just email me, benohashi@boisestate.edu.
Any other questions?
If you go to our site, just boisestate.edu/SFI, it has all of our courses, more information about them, all of the weeks of the course. We have all the lesson plans and all the projects that students will be doing. We have more information about our instructors, their certificates, and things like that. So it's always a good opportunity for you to explore more. And I'll also be happy to meet with you, any of you one-on-one as well, if you have questions.
All right, thank you, Jenny, Brad, Ben.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the information.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you for giving us the floor for a minute.
You bet. Thanks. Okay, at this point in our meetings, we usually go to quick check-ins with our various advising units. However, is there anyone out there who was expecting to present today but hasn't been called on yet because I messed up the calendar? This is your chance. You got time. Okay, let's go into quick check-ins. AASC.
I have a quick one. Just a reminder to all of the folks in other colleges, if you're meeting with students who, one, have our major exploration hold and they're changing their major, or they already have changed their major, just email me and I can remove the hold as soon as I check that they have dropped undeclared fully. I have no problem with that. We don't need to meet with them as long as they're continuing in your and they've changed their major. If they're new students who have a rad hold, we have a lot of students who are undeclared and something else because they think undeclared just comes off, because that would be the logical thing that would happen when they change their major, but our system doesn't allow for that. So a lot of undeclared students on my list have other majors, and if they are meeting with you and you see that they have those two advisors or those two majors, but they're meeting with you to remove their rad hold, if you could walk them through actually dropping undeclared and then letting me know. We keep emailing students who say, I've already met with my advisor, and it happens to be a college advisor, the major that they want to be be. So we just want to stop reaching out to students who don't need to meet with us and then get really confused. So basically, yeah, if they're not undeclared anymore, please have them drop undeclared and then just like tag us in some way or just ping me. Thank you.
Some probation and reinstatement updates too, since Lindsay's not here. Reinstatements for spring have been coming in really, really slowly. We only have about 10 people who have already applied to come back for spring. So you may see those a little bit later than we're used to for spring. Also, if you're meeting with students who have probation holds, remember to click on those holds to see what specifically they need to do, whether it's complete Bronco rebound or meet with us for a reinstatement follow-up meeting. Everyone has been contacted if they need to do that. So they should know who they're supposed to meet with for that reinstatement follow-up. And we're having an in-person Bronco rebound this Saturday that students can still sign up for through tomorrow, and probably another one in October or in November, but students can always complete that on Canvas as well at their leisure. We've sent communication to them about how to sign up for that, both individually and in our ADR newsletter. And if any of you want to get added to the ADR newsletter so you can see what students get 3 times a semester, let me know and I'll get you added.
Okay, next up, COAS.
We don't have too many distinct updates. One thing is, if you are referring students to us, current students especially, obviously with our size and our staffing, we're booked out a bit, kind of keeping a close eye on that in case we need to add any drop-in days. So we would update our website accordingly, and we'll send messaging out to advising partners just to ensure we can accommodate everyone coming through right now.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
Kobe.
All right, hi. Things are going well, clearing rads, getting closer to hiring some new hires. That's about it.
All right, thank you, Liz. Education. Going once, going twice. Okay, engineering.
Our big update is we have a new advisor, and we want to welcome Irv Stevens, who's our new construction management advisor, came to us from the University of Nevada, Reno, where he advised in the College of Arts and Sciences there. So super excited to have another advisor back on our team.
Awesome, welcome, Irv. Health sciences.
Oh, sorry. I want my video shot. Okay. So for College of Health Sciences, we just wanted to remind all of you how important it is that if you work with any of the pre-health pathways, so any students who are pre-med, pre-dent, pre-vet, they can major in anything. And so it's totally great that you get to advise them, but make sure that you refer them to Shannon Kerr. You can just email her and say, hey, I met with the student today, and this is their student ID number and their name, and this is the pathway they're interested in, so that we can send them valuable information and resources about what we share in our office and the information for that. So that's just a really big one for us. And then on a more sadder but happy note, I will be leaving the university as of October 21st to join Idaho State University's College of Pharmacy. So I love you all, and I'm excited about this new opportunity, but Shannon will be kind of the point person for right now for anything pre-health focused. So that's it for College of Health Science.
Aaron, the end of an era.
It's been a long time.
Right, we're gonna miss you. Okay, College of Innovation and Design. Okay, SPS.
Hi, nothing new for SPS. Our rads are going great though.
Excellent, thank you. Extended studies, concurrent enrollment.
Just as a heads up, this is Karina with Concurrent Enrollment. We are in the process of hiring a 10-month academic advisor. If you know of anybody who is interested, the 10-month goes from August 1st through May 31st. So if you know of anybody, please send them our way. It is open till October 30th. We are also in our graduation advising sessions and starting that. And so we have about 53 students who are on track to graduate with their associate's degree while still in high school. And so we're in the process of meeting with all of those students as well right now. And then I am reaching out and will be reaching out to each of the college advising offices. I've met with the Advising and Academic Support Center and the College of Health Sciences and been chatting with the College of Arts and Sciences, but we'll be reaching out to the other ones as well so that we can make sure that we're on top of everything that you all need us to know and seeing ways that we can help collaborate and get more information out. So look for emails in the next few weeks from me on that.
Thank you, Karina. And honors? Nothing from honors. Okay. Anything else miscellaneous? Anyone else have any shout outs? Any information you need to share? Okay, so we're almost done with, Elizabeth.
Tomorrow, sorry. Did I see the Office of the Registrar here? I'm gonna put them on the spot for a second. Mark, I see you.
I'm here.
Hi, sorry. Do we know, and I might have missed it in my inbox, but do we know when students are gonna receive the information or when we get the notification of enrollment appointment assignments? Is that coming soon?
It is just around the corner, I believe. We are running. Look for something on Tuesday, the 18th.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Good question. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so our next meeting will be our last meeting of the fall 2022 semester. It'll take place on November 15th. On the agenda so far are SPS and our new pre-law program. So SPS, please let me know who's representing next month. I don't have an individual for that yet. We'll also have study abroad updates from Hunter and Caroline. Gail will let us know about the English writing assessment. We'll have an update on summer programs from Regina Jenkins and also our brand spanking new reinstatement appeal process that Lindsay will roll out to us, hopefully. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next month. And I will put the link to the recording to this meeting in our meeting as soon as it's available. All right, see you in November.